and you ask yourself a question, where the hell was you throwing that at? Where was that going, my guy? What was that? What was that? I need to figure this out. Where was that? What? Nah, bro. No, absolutely not. Where are we throwing? This is stuff I'm talking about. Where's the intended receiver? Where was that receiver?
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.
Where on earth was that football supposed to go? Picture this. A veteran NFL quarterback drops back on the goal line during a high-stakes joint practice, rolls out on a clean bootleg, and sails the ball 3 yards beyond an uncovered receiver who has nobody within 10 yards of him. But what happened immediately after that throw inside the Cleveland Browns scrimmage against the Buffalo Bills is what really sent shockwaves through the facility. While Deshaun Watson struggled with basic execution, Shedeur Sanders quietly put together an impressive showing, only for his screen touchdown to mysteriously vanish from official media tracking sheets. Observers on the field witnessed two completely different standards being applied to two different players. The play calling changed in real time to protect one quarterback, while the stat sheets were quietly edited to control public perception. If you believe pure talent on the field should always matter more than a guaranteed paycheck, drop the word "prove" in the comment section right now. Stay tuned, because the behind-the-scenes reality of what truly happened on that practice field exposes an organizational dilemma that almost nobody in mainstream media is willing to say out loud.
But when I was at practice today, I'll give you a microcosm of what happened. So we're on the goal line, right? Goal line, Deshaun Watson is in. He runs a bootleg. Harold Fanning Jr. is by himself. There's nobody within 10 yards either way in the corner end zone. He overshoots him by 3 yards. Next play. All right, maybe they're going to give him an opportunity to get it back. Let's run another play. These dudes came with that jet reverse again on the goal line. And the Bills was like, stop it. Cats is like, what are you doing? Y'all think y'all can just run this every play on us? We the Bills. We Bills Mafia. Get your hands off me. Get your hands off me. I'm in the backfield. 3-yard loss. They run it back. They like, okay, now it's third down. Well, guess what third down was? We just saw what third down was. This was third down.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.
The atmosphere during an NFL joint practice scrimmage is charged with an intensity that you simply cannot replicate in standard training camp sessions. When two different franchises share a field, the scripted politeness of teammates playing against teammates vanishes completely. Every single rep is a public test of scheme, mental toughness, and physical readiness. That was the exact setting when the Cleveland Browns offense lined up on the goal line against the Buffalo Bills defense. The red zone is where quarterbacks are defined. The field shrinks, the defensive reactions become instantaneous, and throwing windows open and close in fractions of a second. The Browns dialed up a play designed to create an effortless scoring opportunity, a bootleg rollout to the right side, meant to shift the defensive pursuit and create a wide-open passing lane in the corner of the end zone. The play designed unfolded with perfection. Harold Fanning Jr. leaked out cleanly into the flat, finding himself completely uncovered. There was not a single Buffalo defender within 10 yards of him in any direction. It was the kind of throw that high school quarterbacks make with their eyes closed, an uncontested pitch and catch that should have resulted in a routine touchdown. What followed instead left everyone standing on that sideline in utter disbelief. Deshaun Watson set his feet, released the ball and completely sailed the pass, missing his target by 3 full yards. The football flew harmlessly over the receiver and slammed into the turf well out of bounds. The miss was so severe and visually confusing that observers on the sideline were left looking around in bewilderment. Veteran Cleveland sports media personality G. Bush was standing directly on the field, watching the play develop from a matter of feet away. His immediate, unfiltered reaction captured the confusion of everyone in attendance as he scanned the field, repeatedly asking where that ball was intended to go. There was no Buffalo defender closing in to alter Watson's throwing platform, no tipped ball at the line of scrimmage, and no sudden miscommunication on the route. The receiver ran the route as drawn. The separation was absolute, and yet the starting quarterback missed the throw by a margin that defies basic professional standards. This exact situation illustrates why true football enthusiasts refuse to settle for bland, sanitized public relations statements, and instead lock in with Gridiron Ground. When you want the genuine reality of what unfolds behind closed doors and inside team facilities, subscribing to Gridiron Ground connects you directly to the pulse of authentic football analysis. By becoming part of our community right now, you ensure you never fall victim to the polished narratives corporate networks try to push. We break down the real game, the genuine mistakes, and the tactical decisions that dictate the outcome of NFL seasons. The goal line miss was not merely a mechanical error. It represented a complete breakdown of confidence and spatial awareness in the most critical area of the field. When an established veteran misses a walk-in score on a designed bootleg, the standard coaching protocol is to immediately challenge that player. In standard football operations, a coordinator will put the quarterback right back in the pocket on the very next down to force a correction. You want to see the veteran stand tall, process the safety rotation, and deliver a strike to erase the previous mistake. But the sequence that followed Watson's errant throw revealed that the Cleveland coaching staff was operating under a completely different set of rules. The sideline dynamic shifted immediately from demanding execution to managing optics. Rather than letting the offense attack through the air again, the coaching staff signaled for a play call that raised serious questions among everyone watching, signaling the beginning of a deliberate strategy to shield their starting quarterback from further public embarrassment. While Watson's struggles were becoming impossible to ignore on one side of the practice field, Shedeur Sanders was taking his reps and demonstrating an entirely different level of operational control. Sanders stepped onto the field and went 13 for 23 against an aggressive Buffalo defense that was flying around and treating every snap with game day intensity. To the casual fan glancing at a box score, 13 completions on 23 attempts might seem like a modest day at the office. However, joint practice statistics only tell the truth when you evaluate the context of how those passes were distributed and the pressure under which the quarterback operated. Sanders showed remarkable poise in the pocket, cycling through his progressions, identifying blitz packages, and delivering accurate passes into tight coverage windows against Buffalo's frontline secondary. The real controversy, however, did not occur between the white lines of the field. It erupted in the media tent when the official practice statistics were compiled and distributed to the public. Outlets like ESPN Cleveland published what was meant to be the definitive stat tracker for the day's quarterback competition. On Watson's ledger, the tracker proudly displayed 12 completions on 17 attempts for 1 touchdown and 1 interception. But when analysts and fans began reviewing the official numbers credited to Shedeur Sanders, an alarming omission became glaringly apparent. An entire touchdown pass that Sanders had delivered during team drills, a perfectly executed screen pass that resulted in a score, had been completely wiped from the record. It simply did not exist on the tracker. The touchdown was erased as if the play had never been run, while Watson's statistics were carefully polished and framed in the best possible light. This is where the battle over public perception becomes a calculated game. The vast majority of NFL fans do not have the time or access to stand on a practice sideline in the middle of the week to evaluate every throw. Fans rely almost entirely on beat reporters, tracking graphics, and radio personalities to tell them who is winning a training camp battle. When an established media outlet systematically omits scoring plays made by a rookie while downplaying a veteran's turnovers, it manufactures a false reality. Watson's interception was quickly glossed over during post-practice coverage as a minor practice experiment, while Sanders' incompletions were heavily scrutinized across social media as proof of rookie growing pains. Eyewitnesses who watched the scrimmage confirmed that Sanders' screen touchdown was a prime example of quick processing against an oncoming rush. Sanders identified the overload pressure pre-snap, held the safety with his eyes, and delivered the ball with precise timing, allowing his playmaker to follow blocks into the end zone. That execution represented high-level situational football. To deliberately leave that score off the official ledger is an undeniable editorial manipulation that directly serves a specific narrative. It exposes how access journalism often works in tandem with organizational priorities. When the numbers are shaped to favor a specific player, the entire concept of an open, merit-based quarterback competition becomes an illusion designed to appease the public while protecting internal team investments. The true feelings of an offensive coaching staff are always revealed in the play calls they select immediately following a disaster. Actions speak far louder than any press conference soundbite ever could. Following Watson's missed goal line throw on first down, everyone in attendance anticipated that offensive coordinator Todd Monken would call a standard passing concept to test his quarterback's mental recovery. A legitimate quarterback evaluation requires exposing the player to high-leverage situations. If a player fails to execute on first down, you put them in the shotgun on second down, spread the field, and demand that they read the defense and throw with anticipation. That is how real progress is measured in the National Football League. Instead of trusting Watson to drop back and make a throw, the coaching staff called a jet reverse right on the goal line. The Buffalo Bills defense was not fooled for a single second. The defensive line and pursuit linebackers stayed disciplined, sealed the perimeter, and swarmed into the backfield, dropping the ball carrier for an embarrassing 3-yard loss. The entire sequence looked frantic and disorganized, with Buffalo defenders shouting across the line of scrimmage, mocking the predictable play call. By calling a gadget reverse on second down, the offensive coaching staff was not trying to score a touchdown. They were trying to remove the football from Watson's hands to prevent the possibility of another errant pass being captured on camera. This tactical decision highlights an undeniable double standard inside the building. If Shedeur Sanders had sailed an uncontested throw on first down, the coaching staff would never have called a trick reverse on second down to shield his confidence.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.
They would have placed Sanders right back in the pocket and demanded that he prove he could handle the pressure. But with Watson, the staff felt compelled to intervene and control the narrative. When an organization has committed an unprecedented financial investment to a veteran player, every single rep becomes an exercise in risk management. The coaches were actively trying to manage the optics of the drill rather than conducting an honest football evaluation. This exact dynamic is why discerning football fans subscribe to Gridiron Ground every single week. On Gridiron Ground, we refuse to accept superficial explanations or hide behind corporate excuses. When you click that subscribe button, you are declaring that you want the raw, unfiltered truth about team strategy, scheme cover-ups, and the political games being played inside NFL locker rooms. By joining our growing family today, you guarantee that you will always receive deep, tactical analysis that respects your intelligence as a fan. What makes Monken's conservative play calling even more damaging is that it completely backfired. By burning second down on a desperate reverse that lost 3 yards, the Browns found themselves facing a third and goal from further back. Watson was thrust right back into the very passing situation the coaches tried so desperately to avoid. With the defense expecting pass, the pocket collapsed, the rhythm was shattered, and the sequence ended in complete failure. Protecting a quarterback from making throws in practice does not build competence. It merely delays the inevitable exposure that occurs when real defenses turn up the pressure in game situations. Joint practice scrimmages serve as the ultimate truth serum because they strip away the internal familiarity that often masks structural problems. When a team practices against itself for weeks, players learn the snap counts, recognize the blitz tells, and adapt to the specific tendencies of their teammates. That familiarity creates a false sense of security. But when an aggressive, physical opponent like the Buffalo Bills arrives with an entirely different level of violence, all internal illusions are instantly shattered. What G. Bush and other sideline observers witnessed during the scrimmage was absolute trench warfare, and the Cleveland offensive line was consistently losing the battle at the point of attack. The running game, which has traditionally been the absolute cornerstone of the Browns' offensive identity, was almost completely neutralized by Buffalo's defensive front. While there were a couple of isolated positive runs from the backfield, the overall performance of the rushing attack was nowhere near the standard required to compete at an elite level in the AFC. The Bills' defensive tackles were consistently moving the line of scrimmage backward, controlling gaps, and blowing up plays before the running backs could even reach the line of scrimmage. On the reverse attempt involving Rocket Sanders, Buffalo defenders penetrated the backfield so rapidly that the runner had nowhere to turn, resulting in another wasted down and lost yardage. When a team cannot run the football effectively against a disciplined front, the entire burden of the offense falls squarely on the shoulders of the quarterback. Modern NFL offenses cannot survive in third and long situations if their signal caller is unable to navigate a muddy pocket, evade unblocked rushers, and deliver accurate throws off-platform. This is precisely where the contrast between a mobile, quick-processing quarterback and a hesitant pocket passer becomes glaringly obvious. If the offensive line is struggling to create push and giving up interior penetration, an offense requires a quarterback with the spatial instincts and quick release to neutralize the rush. Shedeur Sanders demonstrated throughout the scrimmage that he possesses the natural pocket navigation required to survive when the blocking breaks down. He showed an innate ability to slide away from pressure, keep his eyes downfield, and release the football quickly into vacant areas of the zone. Watson, by comparison, appeared hesitant, holding the ball through multiple beats and allowing the Buffalo pass rush to close in around him. The Buffalo sideline could feel that hesitation, and their defensive front began to pin their ears back on every single passing down. When a defense realizes that an opposing quarterback is second-guessing his reads, the entire balance of power on the field shifts instantly. The physical dominance displayed by the Bills served as an urgent wake-up call for the entire Browns organization. Joint practices reveal the true identity of a football team, and Cleveland was shown that their offensive front is not currently built to bully high-caliber defensive lines. If the running game cannot be relied upon to carry the workload, the coaching staff will not have the luxury of hiding their quarterback behind safe play calling. The offense will require dynamic, high-level quarterback play capable of overcoming negative plays and keeping drives alive through pure individual execution. While the offense was struggling to find its footing, the situation on the adjacent practice field was equally troubling for the Browns organization. The defense entered this season with immense expectations, heralded by local media as a potential top-tier unit capable of carrying the franchise through difficult stretches. However, when faced with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills starting offense, that defensive unit suffered a comprehensive reality check. Joint scrimmages often feature occasional communication miscues, but the absolute ease with which Allen dismantled the secondary stunned everyone watching from the sidelines. The Bills' superstar quarterback did whatever he wanted, extending plays at will and targeting deep passing windows across the entire field. The most shocking moment of the entire defense
isn't going. Let me just keep it a buck with you. The Buffalo Bills came in and they stopped the run. Like, they had the little reverse with Rocket Sanders. They reverse field or whatever the case may be. They blew that play back there. When I'm not watching highlights. I'm watching trench warfare. And they was moving. Them up front moved us up front today. Had a couple good runs from Sampson. Not good enough. Not good enough to where the Browns want to be. They was moving people. Let me tell you about the defense. Let me just say this. Josh Allen was doing what he wanted. Anytime he wanted on the other field. That's to be expected. But what I did not expect is Dalton Kincaid, Kincaid to be running down the middle of the field. It had to be a busted coverage. One play touchdown. Multiple touchdowns on the other field.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.
Offensive session occurred during a red zone sequence when Buffalo tight end Dalton Kincaid broke completely free down the middle of the seam. There was not a single Cleveland defender anywhere near him. It was a massive, catastrophic coverage bust that resulted in a walk-in touchdown, leaving the defensive coaching staff visibly frustrated on the sideline. That score was not an isolated breakdown. The Bills' offense generated multiple long touchdown plays on that field, exposing significant flaws in communication, safety rotation, and underneath zone coverage. When a defense gives up uncontested scoring plays in a controlled practice environment, it signals deep structural vulnerabilities that cannot be easily fixed overnight. To make matters significantly worse, the defense suffered a critical physical setback when defensive end Alex Wright went down with an injury. The defensive front was already dealing with depth concerns, and losing a key rotational edge rusher during a physical joint practice creates a dangerous vulnerability. In the modern NFL, a defense cannot sustain high-level performance without a deep, relentless pass rush rotation. When edge rushers go down, the remaining starters are forced to play an unsustainable number of snaps, diminishing their fourth-quarter effectiveness and exposing the secondary to extended coverage responsibilities. This defensive breakdown completely alters the strategic equation for the entire team. The prevailing narrative entering training camp was that the Browns could afford to manage Watson with conservative play calling because the defense would hold opponents to low point totals. But if the defense is giving up explosive passing plays to top AFC quarterbacks and the front seven is being depleted by injuries, the game manager strategy is completely dead on arrival. The offense will inevitably find itself trailing in high-scoring shootouts against explosive teams. In those scenarios, a team cannot win with safe bootlegs and gadget reverses. They need an explosive, dynamic quarterback who can score 30 points a game. Continuing to protect a struggling veteran under the false assumption that the defense will bail him out is a strategy that will lead directly to disaster once the regular season begins. One of the most powerful and enlightening aspects of G. Bush's breakdown of the scrimmage was his aggressive rejection of modern take culture in sports journalism. He drew a sharp, undeniable boundary between people who manufacture takes from remote television studios and analysts who stand on the field to document what they physically observe. A media take is an opinion shaped by personal relationships, corporate access, and the desire to create sensational headlines. It rarely requires deep tactical understanding. Observational reporting, however, is the unyielding pursuit of truth based entirely on what takes place between the lines. The footwork, the throwing mechanics, the body language, and the authentic interactions between players and coaches. In Cleveland, an intense media war is currently playing out regarding the future of the quarterback position. Many mainstream reporters and radio hosts rely entirely on maintaining positive relationships with front office executives to preserve their press access and exclusive interview opportunities. As a direct result, there is an immense institutional incentive to protect high-earning veteran players and present practice struggles as minor, insignificant details. When an analyst physically stands on the field, they see the unvarnished reality that highlight reels and press conferences deliberately hide. The late throws, the hesitation on basic reads, and the frustrated body language of receivers who realize they are running routes in vain. G. Bush emphasized that his reporting is grounded in complete objectivity. When Shedeur Sanders threw an interception earlier in camp, it was analyzed and critiqued openly without excuses. But when an established starting quarterback repeatedly misses wide-open targets on the goal line and receives special tactical protection from the offensive coordinator, refusing to report that reality is an insult to the fanbase. The widespread narrative that Sanders is simply an unpolished rookie who cannot handle an NFL offense falls apart the moment you analyze the first-hand accounts of those watching every snap. Sanders has shown an ability to compete against first-team defensive units, yet corporate sports outlets continue to minimize his accomplishments while protecting the veteran. Understanding this media dynamic is crucial for any fan trying to make sense of training camp reports. When a sports media machine is invested in maintaining a specific corporate narrative, every single practice rep is spun to fit that predetermined agenda. But real game situations cannot be spun by media relations departments. First-hand reporting provides an essential window into the actual competence of the team, cutting through the public relations noise to give fans the unvarnished truth about who is truly executing on the field and who is merely being carried by their status. At the absolute foundation of this entire quarterback controversy lies a massive financial reality that completely dominates every football decision made inside the building. The Cleveland Browns made an unprecedented, franchise-altering commitment when they signed Deshaun Watson to a fully guaranteed $230 million contract. That massive contract carries historic dead cap penalties that make it almost financially impossible to move on from him without destroying the team's salary cap structure for years to come. If the front office were to bench Watson in favor of a dynamic rookie like Shedeur Sanders, it would serve as an official admission from the front office that the biggest financial transaction in franchise history was a total failure. NFL front offices are notoriously vulnerable to the sunk cost fallacy. When executives invest massive amounts of draft capital and historic sums of guaranteed money into a player, they will go to extraordinary lengths to justify that decision. This organizational dynamic creates an inherently unfair playing field for any rookie quarterback entering the locker room. Shedeur Sanders is not merely competing against Watson, the football player. He is competing against an enormous corporate investment that the front office is desperate to validate. Every great throw Sanders makes, every scoring drive he leads, and every touchdown that gets erased from the stat sheet creates undeniable tension inside the administrative offices of the franchise. This is the exact reason why your engagement and loyalty to Gridiron Ground are so vital to authentic sports media. Our mission on Gridiron Ground is to cut straight through corporate balance sheets, front office politics, and public relations spin to deliver pure, unapologetic football analysis. When you hit that subscribe button for Gridiron Ground, you are supporting independent, fearless coverage that places on-field merit above corporate paychecks. We believe with absolute conviction that professional football should be an uncompromising meritocracy where the best player takes the field regardless of their contract size. The tension inside an NFL locker room cannot be contained by corporate public relations for very long. Professional football players are exceptionally perceptive. They watch the same practice film that the coaching staff watches. They know precisely which quarterback is processing coverages efficiently, making anticipatory throws, and leading scoring drives. And they know who is being artificially protected by conservative play calling. If the coaching staff continues to force Watson into the starting role despite glaring operational struggles, they risk losing the trust of the entire locker room. Elite athletes want to win, and they will always gravitate toward the quarterback who gives them the best opportunity to succeed on game day. The front office will eventually be forced to confront a brutal choice. They can continue trying to protect an unprecedented financial contract, or they can put the best 11 players on the field and try to win football games. The joint practice scrimmage against the Buffalo Bills stripped away every prepackaged excuse and exposed the uncomfortable reality currently facing the Cleveland Browns. From Watson's baffling goal line misfire to Harold Fannin Jr., to Todd Monken's transparent attempt to shield his quarterback with a conservative jet reverse, the on-field evidence is completely undeniable. When you combine those tactical cover-ups with the deliberate omission of Shedeur Sanders, touchdown from official media stat sheets, it becomes glaringly obvious that this quarterback battle is being heavily influenced by financial investment rather than pure football execution. With the defense showing alarming coverage breakdowns against Josh Allen and key injuries mounting on the defensive line, this team no longer has the luxury of playing conservative, hide-the-quarterback football. The regular season in the AFC is utterly relentless, and defensive coordinators around the league will ruthlessly exploit any quarterback who hesitates in the pocket. The coaching staff can manage practice optics, edit stat cards, and call gadget plays in August, but the truth will inevitably reveal itself the moment the real games begin. Be sure to hit that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to Gridiron Ground so you never miss an update as this dramatic quarterback battle continues to unfold.
Listen, this is why I be sitting here talking to y'all and having a conversation, because I don't do takes. See, a take is your opinion. I'm gonna tell you what it was. Ain't no such thing. I have a take. There ain't no take. There's no take. There's no such thing as a take when you sitting right there and you watching what it is. See, it's easy to this is no knock at the end of the day to Deshaun Watson. It's not a knock. The same way when it wasn't a knock when we said, hey, listen, Shedeur threw an interception last game and we talked about it, right? See, the problem is this. Everybody think that you can have a take about something, but you don't know what you're talking about. See, when I watched the Buffalo Bills play, and let me show you what we've seen today, right?